Jake Wells, our annual tradition. I believe this is 3 years in a row now.
It's starting to be a tradition. I'm okay with that.
Conditions not as thick as Louisville, but it seems like the running still played to your strengths here.
Yeah, they're two big run-ups, and they're kind of in these pivotal sections too, right before these pivotal sections, so they kind of compound, as you go. So the first run-up is really early in the lap. I think that was enough to get a little bit of separation for the top. It seemed like there were 5 of us pretty quick. So, and right after that, it's this big technical descent. So, if you can, I wanted to be toward the front of that just so we didn't get tangled up on that descent. And then I was able to kind of ride. I actually got to the front on the first lap. So I was able to kind of ride my pace for most of the first lap and settle in because I got here late yesterday, so I only had time for 1 lap. And so I didn't really have the course really dialed, but after a couple laps, you get it pretty well figured out. So.
Well, you've been getting some experience though. You've been traveling, helping the Alpha team out this year, right?
Yes,
so it's kind of normal for you, getting in, getting out on the course.
Yeah. So it's and these kind of conditions we've had almost every weekend this year. We've had at least 1 wet day of racing. So this mud up here in the Northwest is always a little bit different than what you get in the Midwest or Colorado for sure. So. It takes a little bit of getting used to where the traction is, but the soil really handles it really well. So there's plenty of traction actually for as wet as it is.
So for a bit there, Molly was giving you hell. What was the key to kind of beating her?
I think the main thing I wanted to do was just try to stay consistent. It seemed like on the run, I was getting a little bit of a gap there. It was pretty comfortable for me, so I wasn't really having to attack into the run. I could just kind of run at my tempo, and it seemed like it would stretch out a little bit, especially that second run up, because once you get to the top, it's this kind of false, flat, grassy uphill, up in the orchard area. So I could kind of get on the gas there, and it seemed like it would stretch out. So, but yeah, my legs were just cramping up with 2 to go. So I was definitely looking over my shoulder. So, I know Molly had some issues earlier this year with a crash and hip issue and all that. So I wasn't sure where her fitness was going to be. So it's always fun to race, her and Wes. So it's great.
One thing that was cool was you're living the true master's life. You had your single speed bike as your pit bike.
Right.
Was that what was that choice, and how did that work for you?
So I'm racing the single speed race on Saturday, and I've got 2 bikes, 2 single speeds, one A and a B. So instead of traveling with a 4th bike, I just brought 1 geared bike and then just used the single speed as my pit bike. But for this course, it's not really much of a penalty because you can run a pretty heavy gear, and then when it goes uphill, you're off and running anyway. So I don't think it was much of a penalty, just to at least have 1. I did 2 swaps, so just to get on a clean bike and make sure, because that mud by the pit area is getting pretty thick. So just make sure the shifting's still crisp and everything. So.
One last question: are you going to do the split jersey like Meyerson? Or are you going to ask him for some clothing tips?
I don't know. I saw the photo of that back whenever he posted it, and I don't know. Let's see. I probably, for single speed this year, I was racing the national championship kit. And that was a lot of fun. So we'll see what next year brings.
Cool. Congrats, champ.
Yeah.
Go enjoy
Thanks.
it.
Appreciate it.